Canada's unemployment rate is rising, reaching 7% in May. Outside of the pandemic, it's the highest level in 9 years. Economists predict this will continue. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Adet, and you're listening to my podcast hub, where we discuss the economy, the real estate market, and touch politics. You don't want to miss this. Okay, Dragos. While there was a slight increase in full-time jobs in the private sector, this was largely countered by losses in part-time and public sector positions. Manufacturing and government jobs experienced significant drops, and Canadians are facing greater difficulty in securing employment. It's particularly students and younger people that are feeling the effects of this. This may actually lead to further interest rate cuts by the Bank of Canada as well. So, to kick things off, let's talk about where Canada's employment rate stands right now. What are the latest numbers?
Yep, Chris, that's very well put. So the Canada unemployment rate rose at 7% in May. We don't have the June numbers yet because it's too soon. And that marked the highest level in 9 years, excluding the pandemic, of course, 2021, 2022. And that was an increase from 6.9 in April. So that shows a increasing trend. And as you probably remember, 2-3 months ago, when I showed you the chart of the unemployment rate, and it shows that the trend will continue to go up, and the unemployment rate will continue to go up as well, obviously. And what that suggests is that it's becoming more difficult for people to find work. And also for the young people, we'll see that. I'll show you a few charts. It's not going to be good. And overall, there are 1.6 million people, unemployed people in Canada right now, which is a frightful number, I should say.
Frightful to say the least. So beyond these headline numbers, jobs are being created, lost across the country. Where are we seeing more people finding work, and where are these losses occurring? Where's our biggest concern?
That's a good question, Chris. So since January, there has been virtually no employment growth, with only 8,800 jobs added in May. Do you understand? In Canada, okay? And the private sector employment saw its first increase since the beginning of the year. A gain of 58,000 full-time position was counteracted by the loss of 49,000 part-time positions, like you mentioned. And the wholesale and retail trade and manufacturing experiences the most significant losses. I want to show you something. So this is employment change by industry. And what we can see here is that the wholesale and retail trade gain, but the public administration lost a lot of jobs, which is a good trend when you look at it. And the problem that we have right now is that the Canada's doomsday scenario is already here. Remember, we did a podcast about the Privy Council. So I found this article again, and we don't have to wait until 2040 to experience what that report was saying. And we see it now with the trends in unemployment and, unfortunately, the job losses.
And the students are being hit particularly tough in this, right? Like people looking for, summer employment, part-time positions. Yeah,
they do, Chris. Let's continue with this article that I found. So, like you said, Ottawa students struggle to find summer work as unemployment rises. And it's not only the Ottawa students that having trouble to find a job. I saw a lot of videos online and on YouTube. People can go watch about how long the lines are for just a Canadian Tire job. Let's say a basic entry level job. There are lines of tens and maybe hundreds of people for 5 jobs in around the country. This example is in Ontario, Toronto. And also Alberta has, I saw a few videos with the people lining up at Home Depot in Edmonton. The same thing, about 30 people for 3 jobs at Home Depot in Edmonton. I saw that 2 weeks ago. So this is everywhere. This is everywhere. And this is not good news. This is not good news. What do you in your circle of friends or family, do you have young people that cannot find a job?
Yeah, well, and I was just going to mention some of our friends with university students, university age kids.
Yeah.
They're having to go outside of. Like, we've got friends that are going to 100 kilometers out in some of these resort towns and campgrounds and stuff in order to find the work. So they're spending time up there. There's good and bad to that, but it seems particularly tough in the cities right now. I don't know why that is, but why are the major metropolitan centers getting hit so hard? And I guess my question back to you then is, are other areas of the country getting hit harder than some?
Yeah. So there are different areas in the country. I will show you this. I will just I wanted to continue with this. See, Canada's job market, youth job market in dire straits, Economist says. And that's an article a few weeks ago. So this is not something that only one organization or media pushes. It's not a narrative. It's something that happens for real in right now. Young people can't find jobs. Okay, let me show you this. See the unemployment rate for returning students age 15 to 40. You see my screen, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
So from May 1977 to 2025, you see it here, right? The highest was obviously 41.2% in 2020, which is the pandemic, obviously, and the 2021, which is what the rest of pandemic was, right? And if we go here, it's at 20.1, and you would have to go back to 1997 to have the same unemployment rate for returning students. What happened in the 90s and 92? One of the biggest recession Canada had, a big one that lasted until 97, 98. I know because we came to Canada in 96 and there was a lot of foreclosures. And I think I already told you the story, a brand new sixplex for $235,000 in 1996 in Quebec. So I remember that. So in other words, the students, the young people aged 15 to 24, they have the same percentage of unemployment that in the biggest recession of my time that I remember. Do you feel that? Do you think it makes sense, or is just too much, Chris?
And it seems like we're getting kind of hit across the board in multiple different ways. We've got a lot of stuff happening. We've got a lot of sectors that are really growing and prospering right now. In fact, strange as it may sound, the more the current U.S. administration does some things to really throw everything into an economic turmoil, certain sectors are strengthening because of it, because we're realizing we have to stop relying on the U.S. and start playing well with each other. But on that same side, we're seeing a lot of job losses. As these numbers are showing, we're seeing housing. The housing crisis being affected in pretty massive ways with lower sales. Go figure. We got a housing crisis, but our sales are dropping. Inventory is rising.
Yep.
Go figure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a very good point. Starts are down. I don't want to talk about starts now because it's a big subject, but we did a few, and we can do it in a few weeks. Starts are really down, especially in Ontario. Like you said, the interest rate is not going down, right? And it's still not like it used to be, right? The real estate market, it's right now, it's not like we used to be, like it used to be, and the way we are used to it.
It is nothing like it used to be.
That's my feeling, and I know I stopped being a real estate broker 3 years ago, so maybe I'm not in the market, but I wanted to also hear your point. I feel like there's a lot of things are not like they're supposed to be in Canada. But that includes the real estate market.
Yeah, it's changed. Right? Yeah, it's definitely changed. And I think depending on who you talk to, you're going to get two insanely different answers on some stuff right now as well. If you've got housing suppliers, goods for suppliers, say electrical supply, you talk to those guys and you're going to say, we are absolutely 100% booming right now. It is insane just how much the real estate market is increasing. But a lot of these are based on builds that were started
6 years ago.
Back when the times were good.
Yeah.
And if you talk to a realtor right now, I get 30 emails a day from builders begging for us to come visit them. Massive incentives for their buyers because their sales are down and low. And yet we also still see housing prices on some of this new product that is unbelievably high. And meanwhile, we're having conversations with resale clients in large numbers of communities, not all, but large number of communities that are saying, you got to be really smart on your pricing right now because there's anywhere from 9 to 18 months of inventory in your community right now. And most of what's selling is brand new with some pretty big incentives and GST rebates that are occurring up to, over $1 million now as well. So it's different, and it's very regionalized too, very, very micro regionalized.
Yeah. Speaking about regional disparities in unemployment in Canada, I want to show you something here. So we talked about the Canada's unemployment rate ticked up to 7% in May, highest in 9 years outside the pandemic, right? And this is a good article on the CBC with a lot of explanations, right? And this is the chart, if you remember, that I showed you. See? Because it was at the same level here, right? I predicted that this will go up. It was at 6.7, and I predicted at 7 at least in 2 to 4 months, and that was 3 months ago. And right now we are at 7. See here? Okay, so this trend will go up. Again, I predict that it will be 7.2, 7.4. Again in the next 2 to 4 months. Okay, so we're not done yet. Second thing, we will look about, you asked about the regional disparities, if it's the same around Canada. So we have the answer here. So if Canada is 7% unemployment rate, we got other provinces here that are higher or lower. For example, Quebec, it's 5.8%. Okay. Ontario, it's higher, it's 7.9%. And that is due in part, especially in Ontario, but about the manufacturing jobs. I read that, and the tariffs, and with the cars, and there's a lot of uncertainty. So there's a lot of manufacturing jobs that have been canceled. And here in Alberta, we have 7.4. See, so this is the big picture of Canada, right? And now let's go to regional. Okay, so we see where is it. And as we thought, Windsor and Oshawa are leading. Like I just explained why. it's not funny, but this is it. Windsor and Oshawa, it's because of the manufacturing jobs. Then you got Toronto, Barrie, Calgary, Edmonton, and then you got Kelowna, Montreal. In Montreal, it's 6.9%, which is around the national average of unemployment, and so on and so forth. I have something I wanted to ask you. In the 90s, in what industry were you working, Chris? In the 90s when the recession started here?
In the 90s, I was in brokerage sales for pharmacies. So we stuff shampoos and conditioners and stuff into the pharmacies.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how was it?
And you know what? It was a different time back then too, because it was a bit of a boom time in certain sectors here in Calgary. But strangely enough, it was ironically because we weren't caught up in technology yet.
Huh.
You know, POS systems didn't exist yet. The large manufacturers didn't all subscribe, or sorry, the large purchasers didn't subscribe onto the buying systems, and so there was crazy amounts of jobs in that industry, but because we hadn't caught up with the technology yet. So, yeah, oddly as it may sound, a lot of what we were seeing within that sector was because we didn't have the technology, most commonplace yet here. So we had a lot of jobs that shifted. Suddenly, more money went into the pockets of the big retailers, and less being handled on employment. Maybe that's catching up to us now here as well. I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of jobs being lost to AI.
That's my question now, Chris.
Yeah.
That's my question. Do you believe that we're going to lose a lot of jobs to the AI? And I'll give you an example. There's people now that used to work with data,
Data analysts and
are
stuff.
parsing data analysts, parsing data, filling in data. You know what I'm saying? Like you need a human to know where to put it.
Mm.
And now they're using ChatGPT, and there's almost no work for those people. And a lot of companies pay like $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 for people that do nothing right now. Nothing, like literally nothing, other than doing whatever the ChatGPT can do. Okay, so that's scary. That's really scary. Imagine when the companies will start to just fire them because have no need for paying $60,000 a person that does nothing more than what ChatGPT will do. It's unfortunate and it's scary. What do you think about that?
Well, and I think that's one of those things where we've got to be, we're so early in these stages of this yet here. Like we really are. And I don't know what it is, but I see inaccuracies and just blatant wrong stuff 80% of the time with, the auto results for Google.
Yeah.
If you do a search on Google, you don't go to the web pages anymore. You get your answers pretty much right away. But I don't know if you're finding the same thing. I know some of these things that I'm looking at, and I know they're wrong.
They're wrong, of course.
Yeah, we're just kind of muddles together the information.
Oh yeah,
I think we are. Yeah, but I really do think we are a very short period away from that. A lot of that being corrected and
exactly
fixed up. And at that point, it's the people who know these AI engineers, and you don't have to be an engineer to do it, but you have to know how to use these things properly.
Yeah.
Those people are going to flourish.
Yeah.
And the companies that embrace it and figure out how to use it properly, they will flourish.
Yeah.
The rest will get left behind. And a lot of the people who had jobs, like copywriters, for instance, data analysts, for instance, these guys are going to be, they're going to be on, I can see the big blue bar, rising unemployment in Canada. They're going to be joining on those as well. it's going to be a small sector of people that actually do start to prosper from this.
Yeah, I believe that too. That's why I'm concentrating myself in the business that I run on AI. It's becoming just showing people what AI can do, and how unfortunately how many employee you don't need.
Yeah.
And I work with businesses, so it's that people have to wake up. And also just finish with this point. Grok will be available on July 4th, which is tomorrow, for the premium users, and that's the 4th version of it. And Elon promised that you will not see a difference between Grok and a human. No more difference. Nothing. The 4th version will have access to a real-time data with X and YouTube, whatever. So this is not like it gives you an answer for like 6 months ago, like ChatGPT and all that, and it will be so robust. And I can't wait to try that. I think that will be the first like AI, amazing AI, Grok 4.
And I think that's that opens up such amazing opportunities for the youth today.
Yep.
That is looking at, they're not able to find summer employment, but they're, you're able to set yourself up for some pretty amazing things for shortly down the road here. And also to help the old guys like myself, the gray hair, who are struggling to figure all this out. So that you can be, their business can be prospering for it. And there's definitely going to be a market for that.
Oh yeah. I got goosebumps. And that means it's true what we're talking about. Like usually is that what I believe is true. So yeah, it's going to be a bloodbath, man. And rising from the ashes, we have to rise from the ashes, like a phoenix. After AI is done with us, then those who survive.
Yeah. There will definitely be the phoenix portion of AI. Hopefully we do not turn into the Terminator movies, but hey, we'll see. We'll find out where it goes.
Of course.
So what's your overall outlook for the economy, for like what's coming up in the next few months for Canadians in general? Is it going to be bleak, and is it all doom and gloom, or do we have some light at the end of the tunnel here?
Yeah. So I believe, like I told you, I strongly believe in the principle that when a window closes, a door opens, So what I believe will happen is we will be obliged, right? Forced to do something, right? And because of that, a lot of people will have success. I believe there will be a lot of people that will have success. I also believe because of this opportunity, because you can see it as a bad thing or a good thing, an opportunity. I see a lot of businesses that will have to sell the baby boomers. We talk about this for the next 10 years, baby boomers will transfer. We are now. Like we were talking about in 2015, in next 10 years, boomers will start to sell their businesses and nobody will want to buy them. So that will be another opportunity for the people. Another good entrepreneur project is to partner with the businesses that want to sell. So if you have a electricity business, right, for the last 40 years, you built so many good clients and a good reputation, then a guy like me will partner with that person and will bring that business to a new heights through artificial intelligence and have a part of that business. And a part of the profit will go to the owner of it. You understand? Mm-hmm. It will be even better than just buy the business from the baby boomers. That's my point. And nobody talks about that. Probably hear it here first. That's the best thing. Partner with the business that wants to sell and do the marketing and AI for them, and both you are winning and you're going to be happy.
So basically, we have the opportunities here to turn our blockbuster video business into a Netflix, so long as we don't fight.
You got it, Chris. That's why I like doing podcasts with you. Exactly. You put it so well. Exactly. Either you fight and resist, and whatever you resist, it persists. It's a very strong physical law. So you pinpointed. You have the choice, either to embrace it or to resist it. I choose to embrace it.
Yeah,
it's very simple.
Yeah, and do it smartly. Do it smartly. It's not a toy. It's not just a hobby.
No.
Very powerful tools.
Oh no! Of course, it's a hobby if you want to do like a quick AI with Trump running from Putin. Yeah, that's a hobby. Yeah, but I'm not talking about that.
Yeah,
with a big Mac in his hands. Like. Yeah. So the fear is real. After that, I'll show you what I believe is the solutions. Okay. I don't want this to be just gloom and doom information. We always have solutions that we believe are solutions. So this is the bottom line. Okay. So the fear is real. 100,000 jobs will be lost in the looming recession. It was a few weeks ago. And this started yesterday. Microsoft announced 9,000 layoffs. I think maybe you knew, maybe you didn't know.
I did not know that. I did not know that.
Yeah. And see, it will be higher than COVID. So that's the last point I want you to see. And so let me see. See, it's in the first. See here? CNBC does not. So it's not someone that wrote this on the internet, right? And this is yesterday. Okay. So it's already started, and Amazon did that about 15,000 a few weeks ago. So it started, right? The bad things will start happen to people that are not preparing right now. It's that simple. Okay. That's the bottom line. Okay. And it will be now they will have to Bank of Canada will have to make sure they know what they're doing, right? And there's no good or bad decision, because it can go either way, right? If you keep the rates like this, the inflation will stay a little bit lower, right? But people will renew. You remember 2025, 2026, more than 1.5 million people renewing. And they have rates like, you know even better than me. I was still a broker in 2020, but anyway, you know that people were getting like 1.8. I remember 1.9 for 3 years fixed, 5 years fixed. It was like 192. I couldn't believe it.
Well, and I don't think we're going to ever see those rates again. Like I really don't think they will ever hit that low. But I mean, the economists are all predicting that we should be seeing decreases in those interest rates. The people renewing, the massive amount of people that are going to be coming up renewing here right away, which are mostly tied to bond rates, which I believe is still in the States, which we follow. But it doesn't sound like the Bank of Canada is talking about lowering those. Like it sounds like they're really kind of staying stable. I don't know. Do you think they'll follow what the economists are saying, or do you think they'll keep doing what they're doing?
It's politics, Chris. You know that, right? So whatever makes sense for Canadian economy might not make sense for a globalist leader somewhere in the world.
Right.
You understand? And it's not to bash on those people. It's just to be aware of it. How can you and we're going to talk about it right now. How can you continue bringing in hundreds of thousands of people when you have hundreds of people line up for an entry-level job?
Mm-hmm.
What's the explanation? Because logically and common sense, you don't have an explanation. So there's someone in the world that wants big immigration in Canada, and the puppets politicians do it. It's that simple.
Yeah.
It's not to be sour about it. It's just to be aware of it. Our country is not to run with logic. It's run with interests.
Well, it's a balance, right? It's a very delicate balance between growing your economy through productivity and population growth, and being able to sustain, through employment. And yeah, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to this, and the experts don't always know, obviously.
Of course. the experts are paid by those in power. So what are some of the long-term challenges, Chris, and potential solutions for the Canadian job market? That's the last question I would like to answer too. So as we see here, Ontario unemployment hits recession levels, right? This is an article about Ontario, but it applies almost all over Canada. It's just this is a high-profile province. It is the most populous province in Canada. And BMO says that this is driven by excess labor, right? And another Better Dwelling article says that Canadian unemployment soars, like we saw it in the past 30 minutes, driven by immigration more than tariffs. So just another thing people have to realize when I say wake up, it's not the United States that does this to us, or any country in the world. It's the policies that have been implemented in the last liberal decade. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's policies. And always been policies, always will be policies. And the Canadian job market faces structural challenges, and the transition from what it is to what it will be in the future will require retraining and reskilling of the workforce. And that can take months, more years, maybe decades. So that's the main point that I want to make. We have to wake up, and be in a mode of looking, but most importantly, finding what we can do with artificial intelligence. That's my point.
Well, and just as maybe a bit of a wrapping note from my perspective on this, I think with the geopolitical changes and the economic changes that are occurring, let's call a spade, primarily driven by what's going on in the States and the current administration down there. It's creating a bigger opportunity to get away from manufacturing, which is already slowing down here anyway, and going into more of that tech sector, using our brains on technology, and creating a superpower there. We have it in energy that we're wasting. Hopefully we can do something there, and get that back up. But that other side of it, I think, is we've got some real opportunities on the tech sector, particularly as some of these Ivy League schools are just being pushed out of the American environment. Let's capitalize on that. Let's see Canada grow. Let's see us become a superpower on not just energy, but also in tech. Possibilities there.
And they have an investment here in Alberta. Kevin O'Leary. He'll invest, not him, but his company with the money, a hedge fund, I believe, 70 billion US, 70 billion dollars in a data center in Grand Prairie, powered by natural gas, which, according to experts, not me, it burns clean and it's easier to offset. Like, it's easy to offset. It's easy to be net zero with clean natural gas instead of coal or oil or dung, like, or wood or whatever they use. So that's a very good example. That's a very now Alberta also, Ontario has been a while, but Alberta now looks for small modular nuclear reactors. That will be a very good thing. Manitoba will, and Saskatchewan nuclear also. Manitoba is looking for dams. And BC just completed the Site C this year. Site C hydroelectric dam. Okay, you don't. I'll show it to you.
Yeah, I don't.
And this is a big one. This will go. This will generate power for more than 500,000 homes. See it here? It's called Site C Dam. Okay, opened 2025, like I told you. Here. Okay, let me bring this. So see, is a hydroelectric dam currently under construction, but it's open in 2025 on the Peace River, 14 kilometers southwest of Fort St. John in northwestern British Columbia. Okay. So this will bring, like I told you, 500,000 homes. The energy equal to light up 500,000 homes, and that is clean energy as well. So the last point I want to make, it's good that we see the federal government try to take down interprovincial barriers, and we can send electricity through the provinces. Quebec has hydroelectric, almost like 95% or something. Ontario has hydroelectric. So we can build all the provinces with clean energy. And I really like what you said, and bet on technology. That's what it is.
It's not Vegas, folks. It's just a fact.
Exactly. Plus, we are very educated people here. Multicultural, which is a big advantage in technology, because you have people which think differently, which creates, ideas. When you hit ideas with idea, it creates. So that's a good thing that we have here. And me, I'm done with the points that I have today, Chris.
Well, I think kind of just to wrap it up, then I think it's elbows up, folks. It's elbows up. We can fight the good fight, and it doesn't have to be a losing battle, and it doesn't have to be us against them. It just can't any longer be us against us.
Exactly. That's right. That's good. Exactly. Unite. And now there's a big Canada uniting Canada trend. So let's use that. Let's build on that momentum. Become united. One people, Canadian. All the Canadian people here. One people.
I love that. Yeah. One people, Canadian.
Yeah. That's it.
All right, folks. Well, I think that's a bit of a wrap, unless you have something else to throw on there, Drive.
I'm done. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's another episode of My Podcast Hub. I'm Chris Adet. This is Dragos Roxandu. Welcoming you. Please don't forget to subscribe. Watch a couple of our other episodes coming up. And we'll talk to you later.
See you guys.